Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. So today we're going to talk about this workflow. This is a workflow I created for companies that want to sort through applications sent by email. So imagine that you receive, let's say, emails. The first step that this system will perform is classification. Automatically it will determine whether it's an application or not. So if it's a candidate applying for a position, what will happen is that it will save it to Google Drive, and most importantly, it will use artificial intelligence to try to give a score to this resume to see whether, it's a good fit for the job offer or not. And automatically you will have an Excel file here that is well detailed, containing the name, email address, LinkedIn link, phone number, address, and most importantly, the person's score. So this score, as we mentioned, is calculated using artificial intelligence to determine whether the person might be a good fit or not. So as a result, the HR person, or even you, if you're an entrepreneur, can simply come here and sort by score, focusing on those with the highest scores. This will save you a tremendous amount of time. There's no need to read every email, download the PDFs, organize them in a folder, read each CV, and then decide whether or not to call the candidate. Well then, we won't need to do that anymore. All you'll need to do is check here in the system. And this workflow is able, as you can see, to capture your job posting, to collect the CVs that are sent in response to the latest job offers, and it's able to provide you with this score. So what I'm going to do in this video is show you step by step how to download this workflow, how to install n8n, and how to get it running. We're really going to go through everything in detail. Even if you're a beginner, I'll explain everything so that you can get started properly with n8n. Thank you very much, and see you in a moment. So the first thing to do is to get this workflow so we can run it. For me, I'm simply going to click here on download to download it. So this is a file. As for me, I've actually placed the file on my email inbox, and anyone who needs it, I automatically send them this file. It's a file, as you can see here, with a JSON extension. You can import it later on. So to get this file is very simple. You just need to go to this link. So this is my website, n8n Dr. Ferraz, YP. Well, I'll also put this in the comments for you. You just need to enter your email address here and you'll receive the file. So once you have the file, all you'll need is a system, specifically n8n to install this file and actually run the system. Now to install n8n, well, there are several options. Some people install n8n on their own computer. Others purchase n8n here with a subscription on their official website. There are also those who use other platforms to run n8n, like Hostinger, or several others available on the market today. So you're actually free to choose whichever one interests you. I'm just giving you a quick overview so you can understand. Here on n8n, the price is a bit high because we're talking about $20 per month, especially if you actually purchase an annual subscription. And the downside is that I can only have 5 workflows active at the same time. So that's a bit limited for people who want to create multiple workflows or who want to sell workflows. So then the other plans that exist today include the one from Hostinger. I'll also leave you the link in the description so you can go directly to the VPS n8n link on Hostinger. Be careful, you really need to be on this specific page that has this logo so you can get the specific n8n installation. Here they offer you several packages. The one I always choose is the one with 2 processors. This is a more powerful machine, and it allows you to run workflows without experiencing slowdowns during execution. And above all, the number of workflows I can have active here is unlimited. So that's a bit of the difference. As for the price, well, it's a bit, it's very attractive, €6.99. It's much more appealing than $20. And here you just need to, click here on select. So let's click again. There you go. And once you're here, you'll also be able to, I have a coupon that I can share with you. If you enter this coupon, Dr. Ferraz, that's the coupon, you apply it, and you'll get yet another discount. And then the last thing you'll need to do is scroll down here a bit and simply type n8n here. Okay, so you just need to select n8n and you'll actually choose the n8n server. That's right there. So once you select that server, you'll click on continue and you'll have the n8n server installed online and you'll be able to easily import everything. I'll still give you a little section here where I show you the next steps to, finish the installation. If you already have a server, you can skip this step. If you don't have a server, you can follow this right away. Let's get started. So the first thing to do is actually select the location of your server. Here, it's not very important, but for me, I choose France since it's the closest server to me. So I click on continue. Next, you simply need to search for n8n. You can either type n8n or go to the application section here and find n8n. Be careful. Sometimes when you search for n8n, it might actually show you different versions. So there's n8n and there's n8nq mode. Well, just pick the most popular one, which is this one here. It's actually the simplest. Here you'll find the basic installation options. And then you just need to click on select. Select will simply take you to this mode. Here, it actually suggests a small software that will help you, saying it's an antivirus that will block unknown external connections. Here, you take it, it's free. So I click on next. And now it will simply ask me to create a password to access n8n, my VPS server. And here, you just go right here. So you click here, it will suggest a password for you by default, or you can create your own password. And here, this is actually the name of your server. So this one, you can just copy and paste it. In any case, you can retrieve it later, but you should simply copy and paste this URL and your password somewhere safe. And there you go. It's done. You just need to click here on finish. And now what it will do is start the installation and, if you will, the creation of your server. Generally, it will take a maximum of 5 minutes to get direct access to your server, which is a pre-configured n8n server. You won't have to type a single line of code. You'll have direct access to your dashboard to, well, create your first workflow. And that's it. It's done. So it shows me a message saying that the installation was successfully completed, and now I can simply access and manage our dashboard, our server. Now, in this interface, you have the option to change the language here. You can set it to the language you prefer. And as you can see, my server is up and running. That means I have an online server that will be running for the next 2 years. So it won't shut down. So every time I create a workflow, it will be active, operational, and online. And to actually manage this server and simply access your n8n, you'll find a small option here called Manage the Application. You'll see that when I click here, it will switch me to my n8n interface. And so for the final step, I just need to enter my email address, my last name, my first name, and a password here. So this interface here is an interface that will secure my access to n8n. The other access we had earlier was access to our server, but this one is actually access to n8n. So I just invite you to fill in this information and of course keep it in a safe place. And there you go, we're almost done. Last step, it asks me, do you want to receive a key or license to activate your free lifetime license for your workflow? Well, of course, I'm going to click here to actually receive a code. It's actually a key that will unlock the workflows for life and for free. All right, I've actually received the key via the internet in my email inbox. What am I going to do? I'm simply going to go here, actually into my configuration area, and you'll see here in settings, you have the option to add your key. So look here, there's this option that actually lets you add this key. You just have to click, and then I'll simply copy and paste my key. And there you go, my key is now active. So you'll see that here, I now have an unlimited number of users for my workflow, and that's it. So now my n8n server is ready to be installed. So if I go back to my dashboard, I'll simply have the option to easily start a new workflow by clicking here. So once n8n is installed, there you go. You click here to import the workflow. So look, I'm going to click import from file. Be careful, the file you receive might be compressed. So you need to decompress the file to get or use just the JSON file. So now I'm going to click import from file. And there you go. So here you have the file like this, compressed. Be careful, you need to decompress it to get just the file with the JSON extension. So here I select it and click open. And there you go, you've simply imported the file here. And now we're going to run the workflow to get a better understanding of how it works and how I can simply use it to sort my CVs and record the information in my Google Sheets. So now I'm just going to give you a quick overview so you can understand what it's all about. So here it has a system that allows it to check every hour, as you can see here, the folder or my Gmail where I receive the CVs. So here I tell it, listen, you always look here and you'll pick up the ones that haven't been read. And be careful, I also want the ones with attachments, because if someone sends a CV, they need to attach their PDF, you know? So that's very, very important. And I also ask it to actually download the attachment directly. So then what did I do to test this system? I sent an email from a test email address that I created specifically for the training. I send an email to my inbox and I check whether it will catch it or not. So I haven't read the email yet, but inside the email, there's simply the CV, you know. So to even test the CV, the PDF with the name, the first name and everything. So these are test data. Now to properly test what I'm going to do, I'll come here into this entire Excel file. All right, let's, because we've done a lot of tests here. Okay, so we're going to erase all of this. All right, so now I have an Excel file, or rather a Google Sheet that's empty. Same thing here. So on my Google Drive, I created this folder and it's empty. So now we'll see how both pieces of information will be filled in here. And of course, how we'll receive a confirmation email at the end. All right, let's go. I come here to my file and I click on Run Workflow. Why am I clicking here? Because normally once the workflow is operational, I need to activate it. So then we won't need to click. But today we're going to click so that in this presentation video, you can understand how the information flows. All right, here we go. I'm going to click on Run Workflow so we can simply see how the information flows. So here we click on Run Workflow. Now it's going to try to detect if there's an address, an email that hasn't been detected. So it understood that there is an email. Now it's already saving the Google Drive link to Google Sheets because it has saved it on Google Drive. And now it's calling on artificial intelligence to calculate the score. That's what it just did. It just calculated the score. It also updated the Google Sheets file indeed. Now I have the entire file that has just been filled with all this information. So let's go through it step by step slowly now to understand what it's doing in this workflow. I'll start with this first part here. This one is going to do the classification. It's going to try to determine whether it's an email or not, first of all. An application email or simply someone sending an email for something else. So then here, the classification happens here. It's as if here we're making a request to the AI here to ask it, I want you to classify the information you've received, the email you've received. Is it simply an email where someone is requesting a job offer? Or is it simply that they're just talking about something else? When we give it these two pieces of information, of course, as input, I have the information which is simply the content of the email that was sent. So then here, this system will send the content of the email and it will simply understand it and try to process it. You'll see here in the classification, look, we've used artificial intelligence and it's the ChatGPT model. It's the one that will read and analyze the content. Once this classification step is complete, of course, if it's an application email, it will go through. If it's not an email, it's as if we're going to stop. We'll simply stop the system. That means it will move on if there's another email, or it will wait until the next hour to perform its analysis. Now, step 2. What we're going to do is bring in the PDF that we retrieved from the download. Here, we've set up a switch so it can send the information simultaneously along both branches in parallel. That is, the PDF needs to be sent here, and it also needs to be sent here. The first thing I'm going to do with the PDF here is simply ask, as you'll see, to save it directly to my Google Drive in this folder. And I said that for simplicity, I wanted the PDF to be named after the person's email address. Because I know that each person has only one email address, which is unique. That means I can't have two candidates with the same email address. And so I could concatenate, add the person's first name and everything, but I just wanted to do it with the email address. So I created a test email address and put it here. And there you go. Here is the person's CV, also a test one. Here it's the same thing. We can open and view the file or even download it, the test one that was also created here. If I go back to my system, when I save it, I also go to the Google Sheet and put the link to this PDF there. I don't open Google Drive every time. No, I always want to put the link here so that I can view and consult it whenever I want or even download it from there. Once I've finished the first branch, the second branch, which is very important, is that I called on this node here, which will simply extract the information from the PDF. all the information, all the text that exists in the PDF, we're going to extract it because you'll see that we'll be working with it later on. And here, it's important I ask the system to retrieve the specific job offer. Because to calculate a score, I need to have the job offer, because if I'm applying for several positions, of course, the score will be different. Because a person can't have the same score for several positions, even within the same company. So here in my Excel file, you'll see that I've defined job offer here. Here, I've entered all the information about the offer. I've even included information about the company. All of this helps me later on to make comparisons using artificial intelligence. As for the second step, this is where I format the content, if you will, so that it can be saved and extracted for me to work on and analyze later. And the third step is the most important stage in my system. Here, I call on the AI agent. And with this agent, I provide it first with the information from the PDF, the content. And also, I ask it to take into account the job offer title and description. And I also instruct it to send an email afterwards to the person to let them know we have received your application and so on, and we will get back to you. And here, what's very interesting is that it will work on the score. The score will be between 0 and 10. If it's 10, that means this is truly the ideal person for the position. So with this system, what it will do for him, for me, I would need it to already do some formatting. Here, I need to use AI to detect if there's an email address in the CV, if there's also a LinkedIn link, a phone number, and the location. In any case, here I can add several other pieces of data and information. It all depends on my needs. And I'll need all of this so that afterwards it will save it here in the file. And here, just a quick note. When you save the data here, it will look for the same row where it put the CV and will continue adding the information there. Here in the phone number field, I just added an apostrophe like this. That's for formatting, so that Google Sheets can accept the plus sign or other symbols. All this information is saved here. And as someone in HR, I'll just consult this Google Sheet and find a list. Sorting is very important. The score is very important. Look, the score has changed because I made some updates to the CV. So it will try its best to give you the score. For me, this person could be ideal because 9 out of 10 is very impressive. Imagine someone who has nothing to do with the position sends you a CV. This will save you time. If you find a score of 0, 1, or even up to 4, there's no point in reviewing it. You go straight to the relevant CV. And the person, of course, as we saw here, simply receives the email. Here, we let artificial intelligence handle the email. So it drafts the email according to the need. So it's the AI that will take care of it, and it will be sent back to the person who sent you the email. So it will simply handle everything using artificial intelligence. So if you've stayed until the end, it means you're interested in the world of artificial intelligence, and you enjoy, to some extent, creating workflows. So to encourage you, I'm going to give you a little gift, something very interesting. You can access my website here, which is Dr. Dr. Ferraz, VP. I'll also put this in the description. And here you'll actually find a package where I've grouped together 30 courses. Yes, that's right. 30 courses on artificial intelligence. So here you'll find everything related to n8n, everything about make, no code, databot, blow, bolt, a huge number of tools and practical workshops. So the goal of these courses is that I start from a blank page. That means here, the creation of the workflow itself, so the creation of all the different modules and nodes, I do it from A to Z. I show you how I think things through, how I debug errors, how I fix them, and how basically we address a specific need for a company. So for all these workshops, you'll come down here and enter this coupon, July 2025. Now be careful, you might be watching this video a bit late. It's possible that this coupon is no longer valid because these coupons are very limited in time. I only do this to promote during certain periods when I encourage people to learn a bit more about automation. So as a result, this will really give you 30 courses for 69 euros. So if you do the math, that's about 2 euros per course. And above all, it's guaranteed for 14 days. So you can try it out. And I know that after 14 days, you'll be able to create your own workflow and that you'll enjoy it and you'll want to do even more workshops with me. So I'm sure you're going to like the system. I recently added this option actually because Listen, I know that I create workflows almost every month, a new course, a new hands-on step-by-step workshop every month. So I've added a little option here actually. If you want, for 49 euros, you get lifetime access to all my future workflows, along with their documentation and, most importantly, the courses, the trainings on how I created those workflows. So there you go, you can take advantage of that. There's also the same thing here. There are 130 courses here. This one is a bit more advanced and contains a huge amount of training. Here we are talking about 1,000 hours. Same thing here, you can use the same coupon, actually July 2025. You apply it and you'll see that here too, you'll get a very interesting discount. So once you place your order, you'll find yourself here in an interface like this one. So it all depends on the package you purchased, whether it's for 30 courses or the 130. In any case, all the courses are presented in this way. You just click. You'll always find, in fact, the Notion course materials. You'll also find updates there, as well as workflows to download. If I take this one, for example, there's a motion. For example, here, these are actually links that allow us to access the documentation. This kind of documentation, in fact, we don't put it on YouTube. So these are more in-depth documentations, where I show you the creation process from A to Z. You'll see that on the left, you'll always find the videos. And in those videos, I show the creations. I explain from A to Z how I do the different steps. So it's generally made for beginners who really want to learn how to master automation so that they can either import existing workflows and update them, or even create their own workflow according to their needs. So thank you very much. And maybe I'll see you in the training interface to continue with more practical workshops. Thank you very much.